Jackson's life is the subject of a new book titled The Last Folk Hero, The Life and Myth of Bo Jackson. The book's author, Jeff Pearlman, joins us now. Jeff, it's great to see you. Man, you've written so many great books about so many of the characters of the last 30 or 40 years that we've all grown up with. But Bo Jackson might be my favorite, maybe the greatest athlete we've ever seen in America, just on raw athleticism and the things he went and achieved. But you're also writing here about the myth of Bo Jackson. Why do you call it that?
Because he did so many things we never saw. This is an era before social media. So, you know, there's a story in the book, supposedly in high school at McAdory High in Birmingham, Alabama. He hit a baseball so high that by the time it landed in left field, he was rounding third base. His first game against the first night game in the history of the University of Georgia baseball team, supposedly he hit a baseball and it hit the lights. And this is 39 days before The Natural came out. Like, there's story after story of things that were so hard to believe, and yet all these witnesses say they happened. So he is a folk hero by nature.
And even the stuff, Jeff, he did that was on TV in the day before, as you say, YouTube and TikTok and social media, it took a while to sort of get down and filter out to the people, like when he made that catch and ran up the outfield wall like Spider-Man. I remember hearing about that, but then you had to wait till SportsCenter later that night or the next morning to see it. How great a raw athlete was Bo Jackson? Elise was just looking up his 40 time from the combine. He ran a 4.1, which I think is impossible for a human being to do. He was just different, right? Just special.
I have to correct you. He ran a 4.13, so it wasn't a 4.1. And he was 220 pounds when he did it. And he later, when he signed with the Raiders, during one of his first practices with the Raiders, they had him do a 40 on grass in pads, and he ran a 4.19. And the coach, Tom Flores, didn't believe it, so he had him do it again on grass, in pads, and he ran a 4.17.
Oh my gosh!
It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. It's also, I've got to say, also not great for me as an Alabama fan. I remember, Alabama always beat Auburn. Bear Bryant always had his way. It was always child's play. And suddenly this guy named Bo Jackson comes in, and he just made the Crimson Tide look foolish. I mean, that's really where the legend began, didn't it?
Yeah, you're going to hate this, but he wanted to go to Alabama. Like, his plan was to go to Alabama.
Oh, no.
And he met with one of their coaches, Ken Donahue, and he said to him, "We think in 2 or 3 years you'll really be able to help us, and possibly on the defensive side of the ball instead of the offensive side."
On.
And also, they said, "You don't want to go to Auburn because you'll never beat us if you go to Auburn." And of course, he won, the first 2 Iron Bowls he played in against Alabama. Sorry, man.
It was really, really amazing, Mike Barnicle. The thing about our Willie, the amazing thing, Willie, is he was such a big guy, and I remember watching him the first time, and he started to go around the corner. I was like, oh, Alabama's going to catch him. They've got the lateral speed. The guy, when we saw it in the Seattle clip, the guy just flew. Like you said, nobody like him. I've been watching football since I was 5 years old. I've never seen anybody that big turn the corner and take off the way Bo Jackson did.
Yeah, and Jeff, an all-star in football, but then in baseball, too. Like, he's that good that he can be an all-star in baseball. And as you write, there is some tragedy to his story, that he hurt his hip, and his career and all the things he could have done and been were cut short. But in some way, he was sort of frozen in that moment in our culture where he was the greatest athlete, arguably, of all time.
Yeah, well, I think it's funny. Like Joe is saying, he's one of the great. There was never a football player like him. And it's like, oh yeah, by the way, he also played baseball at an all-star level. And if he devoted himself to it, probably could have been Mike Trout. So his athleticism in 2 sports also could have been an Olympic sprinter. He's the greatest athlete who's ever lived. There's no maybe about it.
Jeff, you've written about so many storied athletic figures, and what's amazing about Bo Jackson is how his legacy has been maintained. You don't have these horrible stories about him in the years after he leaves sports that just tar your memory of him. And so, I remember having that poster that we just flashed of the baseball bat, and, that's the hero, the legend. Why is he different?
You know, my daughter Casey's a college sophomore and has that poster hanging in her on her wall in her dorm, and I love that because people remember him. He, first of all, he didn't feel like he needed to stick around. You'll never see him on TV ripping another player. I'm better than that guy. Oh, that guy should do it more like me. He's a grandpa. He's lives in suburban Chicago. He shovels his own driveway. He's just content with his own legacy. There's no maybe for him. There's no what if. There's no sadness. He's very content with his place in history, which is really beautiful, I think.
It is, and
beautiful.
what a great place to be. The new book is titled The Last Folk Hero, The Life and Myth of Bo Jackson. Author Jeff Pearlman has done it again. This is such a great book. And Jeff, we appreciate your time this morning. Joe.